240 Hz. Man, I thought I'd never be saying that number, but here it is. AOC's AGON AG251FZ monitor, which is a 1080p TN panel at 25 inches. Though if you guys were like me before seeing this thing thinking, oh, it's only a 1080p and TN, then damn, just like me, I am here to tell you this thing is just pure motion, and what it lacks for in picture quality, it certainly makes up for and then some in everything else. And it is a very worthy monitor, even for someone with the latest and greatest, so let's find out why. Welcome back to Tech City, and this is the Yes Man Brian coming to you guys today with AOC's hard-hitting 25-inch monitor, which has exceptional response times. Honestly, the sharpest I have ever seen in my life. I didn't even see any ghosting with overdrive features turned to even strong. However, at this setting there was some very slight overshoot, though the picture was just so sharp at this setting. The medium setting was also quite sharp and was pretty comfortable for gaming and offered a great balance. The other two settings, low and off, did feel slightly blurry, suggesting that the response times were too slow for 240 Hz. So I'd recommend either the medium or strong settings. Maybe strong for competition and medium for RPGs. The input lag was also phenomenal, and the monitor had a low input lag mode, which when turned on presented some really solid numbers, beating out the Korean Atron Vision monitor here I have by quite a bit, though a lot of monitors that come through here seem to beat this out, so I'm just going to say that it's got really good input lag. Now onto the 240 Hz part. This is a monitor that essentially refreshes 240 times a second vertically, and as soon as you dial in the proper refresh rate, that's when it kicks in. The butter, the fluidity, the oh my god, this is real. You can even notice it with the mouse cursor in Windows straight away. I've never had the experience of such a smooth picture like this in my life. This was completely gorgeous, the motion that is. The TN 1080p picture of course doesn't compare with high-res IPS panels, but it was still quite decent for a TN panel. But of course it was the extremely smooth picture and lightning fast response times and low input lag that made gaming on this thing, especially in competitive titles, a breeze. Games like CSGO, Dota 2 and Overwatch will really benefit from a monitor like this. I mean, I was standing up and playing on an unfamiliar mouse and was just straight fragging. I mean, I thought my 100Hz 34-inch Sammy was good, and it is amazing, but the AOC 240Hz, this certainly has its own niche. Though besides the 1080p TN panel, there is another caveat to this computer, and that is your gear to produce 240 FPS. It wasn't such a problem for me being on a 7700K overclocked to 5GHz, though keep in mind if you do get this monitor that you will need both a demanding CPU and a demanding GPU, with the demanding CPU part becoming probably more so than ever the most important it has ever been. So don't ignore the fact that you will need an expensive set of hardware to run this monitor properly, though if you can run it properly, then it will give you something that I'm sure your mortal eyes have never experienced before. However, there was something odd with this monitor. At 60Hz and even 120Hz, this monitor exhibited some noticeable cross-hatching, but at 240Hz, it looked really nice and the picture was smooth as silk. And honestly, I have no problem with this since this is how the monitor should be run. Also at this setting with quite high brightness at 90%, the monitor only managed to juice 20 watts from the wall, which is very good for a monitor that refreshes 4 times faster than any standard 1080p monitor out there. The OSD is also very intricate and features different color settings you can change and also features different modes. Though I found all the modes to put out a picture that I wasn't comfortable using, as it made the picture look very off in all other instances but the default setting. There were extra features like 4 levels of low blue light mode, a bright frame enhancement setting, and also eco and different languages too. So the OSD is definitely feature packed, and you can even control it with the included commander. And also on that note, the font and buttons were also so big that even Dadman no longer needed his magnifying glass to read the text on it. The monitor includes a DisplayPort cable, power brick, stand and VESA mounting capable kit. The included stand is also brilliant, having swivel, tilt, height and rotation adjustments, and they are all quite generous too. The aesthetics of this monitor are a thin matte black bezel and matte silver paint finish for the stand, which is also made of alloy. On the rear you get the option to connect HDMI 2.0, HDMI 1.4, DVI, VGA and DisplayPort 1.2a, with only HDMI 2.0 and DisplayPort having the capability for 240Hz. There is also support for FreeSync from 48Hz to 240Hz. So AMD graphics card users should be quite pleased as well. Also for data connectivity, you get 4 USB ports, with one of those being a charge port for something like a smartphone. Now the monitor does also come with speakers built in, though if you are running the monitor through the DisplayPort or HDMI cables, then the included speakers can produce quite a tinny sound. That is okay if you don't have speakers, but I'd recommend some decent headphones or a decent 2.1 setup, which can be run from the monitor itself, and did sound okay on my V-Motor headphones whilst playing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 soundtrack. There is also an included headphone stand on the side. As for picture quality, brightness uniformity was quite good to my eyes. It wasn't perfect, but there was nothing that was noticeable on the desktop or thereafter. There was also no backlight bleeding coming through either. So now it's conclusion time, and the AOC AGON AG251FZ comes in at 599 Australian dollars. It is available in the US as well as the UK, though I could only find it for 550 US and 394 pounds respectively, which makes it more expensive than what it is in Australia. Probably one of those few rare instances. And of course, there's that final question of, is it worth it? And frankly, in my opinion, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I love this monitor and the fluidity of the picture it provides. Sure, the picture quality itself is far from being the best I've seen on a monitor. In fact, it's mediocre at best with a 1080p TN. But where this monitor shines is that 240Hz. And competitive gamers at their peak, or people who love high FPS and smooth motion, will really appreciate this monitor. I honestly thought that I'd come into this review not noticing the difference, but the reality is the difference was there, and you can feel it straight away as soon as you even change the refresh rate in Windows. Not to mention games with just a smooth stream of liquid running through the monitor. Though it might just be that my eyes can see motion better than other reviewers and or gamers, so if you were keen on this monitor and you don't know if it's for you or not, then I'd recommend demoing it at a computer store if you can, or if you want a chance to win one of these monitors for absolutely nothing, then I'll put a link up here or in the description below where you can enter for a chance to win one of these two monitors internationally. So Steve from Hardware Unbox and we're teaming up to give away 2 of these monitors internationally for absolutely nothing. So check out the description below, link will be in there. You can get more details and enter. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed today's video, then be sure to hit that like button and let me know in the comments section below. Do you prefer higher refresh rates at the cost of lower picture quality, or do you prefer higher resolutions and better panels in terms of picture quality with lower refresh rates? Would love to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comments section below, and I'll catch you guys in another tech video very soon. Peace out for now. Bye.